I wanted to start this video with a little bit of an insight to our community. Since Shaz seems to be making some comments that have seemed to anger people in our community, for example, saying that there's nothing in the New Age that's free. And he sticks to his guns on that statement, even though I bring, website after website and organization after organization offering free things as much as they possibly can. There needs to be some things said about the Christian community versus the pagan community when it comes to things being free. The Christian community obviously has a lot more resources than the pagan community does, both in the UK and in the United States. And because they can get people to donate more, they can offer more free services. And I think there's a lot of New Age organizations that would love to offer more free services, but they can't because they can't afford it. So it's not like you suggest where they're trying to prey on you to get money and things like that. Although some may, just like in the Christian community, there are people there that do that. But there's also the fact that, if you look at the pagan clergy and the New Age, spiritualist movement and things, most of those people have to have other jobs to support their ministry. Just like you said that you were very poor when you tried to do your ministry and everything like that. The same thing goes for a lot of the pagans. They don't have that type of money. So obviously it's very hard for them to offer free services when they don't have the ability to do so, when they don't have the money to do so. But, when groups get bigger and stuff like that, like ESC had close to 400 members, once you get a bigger group like that, you're able to get people who can donate to you, and when you get those donations, you can offer more free services. So they were able to offer me more free services because of that. Small Wiccan covens and stuff like that will probably not offer that many free services because they can't. But that doesn't mean that they wouldn't like to. The first comment you make in this video is that obviously there might be more reviews out there about Randall and Baer, but that still does not an influential person in the New Age community make. There's no proof that he was influential. And let's face it, if he was influential as much as he was claiming to be influential, there would be evidence. Second thing I wanted to say was you tried to back away from your statements about both Gardner and Crowley, but you made videos on them. And if you weren't trying to make a statement with those videos, what were you trying to do? You did badmouth them. It's pretty obvious that you did. And I think it's kind of disingenuous that you try to back away from that now. I admitted that I badmouthed Randall and Baer. I don't care that I did, because he badmouthed the New Age community. Third thing I wanted to say was, at the end of your video, you say that your prayer is that we will come out of the practices that we're doing. But I don't think you quite understand what it is that we do. When you do magic, for example, you are sending energy out into the universe. And when I do something at my altar, for example, I have specific techniques that I use, both psychological techniques and things like that, in order to send out my energy in a more efficient level than the average person. That's what magic is. That's what witchcraft is. It's using these techniques, these craft techniques. If you know your craft, you have specific skills that you learn and techniques that you use in order to do something better than the average person. So witchcraft is that, acquiring these techniques and then putting them to use. And I, of course, am able to send out my energy better than the average person, but that does not mean that the average person does not send out energy. You send out energy whenever you do a video, whenever you write a letter, whenever you do anything with intent. You're sending out intentful energy into the universe. That energy creates change. That is magic. And you can't just unlearn that. It's like saying that you can forget how to ride a bike. For you to suggest that I could come out of that is absolutely ridiculous. And it pretty much shows that you weren't really an occultist, because if you were, you would have understood that. The two main reasons why I am on YouTube is to educate and promote tolerance within my community. And the reason why I've done these videos and why I stuck with this debate is not to have the last word, but because you have an audience that may have not heard a pagan perspective on what you're talking about. And I think it's very important that they hear that perspective, because it may change their mind on some things. some of the ways that you uh, portray witchcraft, the occult, and so forth and so on are very dark, very evil ways, and that's not really what our community is about, not at all. And I think that once they understand what it is that I do and what it is that our community does, and the truth about our community, that they will cease to believe the lies that, frankly, a lot of Christian organizations have set up. There's been a lot of propaganda that our communities have to fight against in order to just get our basic rights here in the United States, and I'm sure probably over in the UK as well. And so what I'm here to do is to help the average person understand that we are not the type of people that Christians claim that we are. We are not sent by Satan. We are not deceived by Satan. Satan doesn't exist to us. And for you to keep making video after video after video bashing what it is that we do and trying to set up this whole sinister notion behind what it is we do doesn't really stop anyone from becoming pagan. It doesn't convert anyone away from paganism. But what it does is create a larger level of hatred against our community. It makes us harder to live our daily lives. It makes us harder to find work. It makes it harder for us to find apartments, to just live our daily lives. And so, really, you're not hurting the occult and paganism and things like that. Those are ideas. You can't hurt ideas. What you're hurting are occultists. What you're hurting is New Agers and pagans by doing this, by using these tactics and arguments that you've done in what I consider to be a disingenuous manner to attack our community. And I really find it to be, kind of sad when I think about who Jesus was. I used to be a Christian. When I think of Jesus, I don't think of him as somebody who would attack other communities. I think of somebody who said that you should love your neighbor as yourself. And in that way, you should be promoting tolerance towards others and not hatred. Anyway, I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I will have a Happy Solstice, and blessed be.